Alright, house partiers, last game of the night. Going to be Shadow Walkers on the blue side with Trismegetsu on the red side. And we have had quite a night so far. I hope everybody's enjoyed the games. Going to be White and Nerdy casting this game.
That's me. What's up, guys?
Just a Base will be joining us as well.
Hello.
Appreciate you guys coming out and helping us out with the casting tonight. Really, all the casters tonight have done a phenomenal job, and I could not be happier with the way the league has been going. I appreciate all the players coming out tonight as well. You guys have made this experience one to remember for our season opener. Again, we apologize we were not able to get the game between Top Lane Buffet and Acme Corp. Top Lane Buffet did end up taking the win in that game, and of course we'll be working on our formatting every week to try to include every team in shoutcasting. We know that's what you guys come here for first and foremost, and it's a working process, but again, we've had 100% participation tonight, and I think that that speaks volumes as to what we're doing here. So we, again, getting into the match, what we're all here to see. REZ Zetsuwani getting banned out for Shadow Walkers, Trismegetsu choosing to ban Lysandra, and of course the Rumble against Jetstone for going a 6th ban. So we see Irelia come out on the blue side, and red side's got 2 to pick up.
Aurelia is a really solid pick as far as like first pick top laners go. She lanes decently against pretty much every melee, and against even ranged, once she backs and gets a Sheen, she can almost always engage onto them and gain some lane dominance as she works her way to the Triforce, and then she just shows up mid, you take towers, you team fight, she does a ton of damage.
Yeah, and even with that slight nerf to her E damage, she's still going to be able to put out a lot of damage overall.
20 damage on E, not the biggest nerf when it stuns you for over 2 seconds.
Right, a stun on a top lane bruiser with heavy damage like Irelia, it's been strong for a while, and there were big jokes before this nerf that Irelia is the most OP champion in the game, hasn't been touched for 4 years, and just absolutely wrecks. And I think that I think a lot of people were right about that. I think Riot was good to step in cautiously and take a look at that nerf, but definitely still such a strong pick, and no surprise that a lot of people in House Party play that champion.
I really like the Lulu Vi coming out of Shadow Walkers because, okay, so if you pick Lulu, you get a lot of mobility, which makes all of your bruisers a ton scarier because they're already designed to be sticky, but the speed up from Whimsy is just massive. And so, when combined with the ultimate, you have Vi, who literally nothing can stop her from reaching her target, and then when she gets there, knocks them up, slams them down, Lulu can just ult Vi, and that's a second immediate knock-up on your target.
Meanwhile, you've got the Irelia dashing into the back line, stunning things. It's looking awful scary on Shadow Walker's side.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it looks like Trismegetsu, though, is actually trying to fight back with somewhat of an engage of their own between so far Saber Thresh and Wukong. That Wukong is big, and I wonder if we won't see something like a Yasuo to complement that.
That's exactly what was on my mind. Yasuo would be a great pick for Omero. I know he plays the champion. I've seen him play it a few times before, if I recall correctly. So would not be surprised to see that coming out. Of course, mid lane is still open on Shadow Walker's side. They could pick it right out from under him.
Yeah, and another thing that I think Omero might play is he seems really comfortable on Ari's band. My fault. Could play something like LeBlanc then and go for an assassination.
Is Jetstone going to be confident enough to pick the Vayne? He's got Lulu for peel. Aurelia does decent if she doesn't dive, providing the stuns to protect the Vayne. Oh,
I don't believe it. Jetstone is taking Vayne top lane.
Well, it'll probably be Vayne.
They're going to switch to Killing Force, I'm sure.
Unless they run some Irelia ADC. They're looking for the mid lane.
You never know.
From Trismegetsu.
There's a lot of options on the table. I don't see the fiddle getting picked up.
I wouldn't be surprised. You could go Wukong mid. I mean, it's the same as playing like Jarvan mid. He just instantly gets onto somebody, pops them immediately, and then tries to leave before the enemy team can focus him. It would also fix their problem of being full AD.
Yeah.
That is the disadvantage to picking a Yasuo at this point, is you're going to be lacking magic damage across the board. Omero seems pretty insistent on no.
No, there's no way, Shen.
That
I'm
now
sorry.
it's Twisted Fate. Oh.
Ooh, yes.
Very interesting pickup there. We've got wow. I mean, there could be a number of options with this, and you know, does the Vlad really fit into what is Trismegetsu working on with their composition here? What are their strengths?
Well, I would say Vladimir does really well in the mid lane in this composition, actually, just because of, I think Vladimir has a very favorable matchup against LeBlanc. Because as soon as LeBlanc throws out that Q and starts her W, if the Vladimir is fast enough, he can just pool and dodge all that damage.
Well, we'll see how it ends up working out for them. I gotta give the composition battle over to Shadow Walkers. I just think they're much more well-rounded. Killing Force, I'm not sure about the Vayne, but other than that, really solid all-around picks on the blue side. And certainly there's enough going on, crowd control-wise, to form a Protect the Vayne composition.
I haven't seen a Wukong jungle in the new jungle for quite a while, so I wonder if he'll be going for the warrior for more damage, or if he'll be doing a little bit more. If he'll be doing the Cinder Hulk, which has also seemed pretty strong recently.
I think if he goes Cinder Hulk, he ends up losing out on a fair bit of damage for his team. I think right now TMG are a little light in the damage department. Of course, that all could change with the dynamic of the game, but just composition-wise, I think a lot more is getting pumped out on Shadow Walker's side. And take a look at the crowd control options here. None on Vlad, of course, none on the AD carry, none on Antonym outside of a slow. Odin's Son's going to really be carrying the bulk of the weight when it comes to crowd control, and then you've got enemies knock-up. So I'm not feeling it when it comes to TMG missing out on a few crowd control opportunities here.
I think that the Nasus coming out from Antonym is going to do very, very well in team fights against Killing Force, because Vayne really relies on attack speed to proc those silver bolts as much as possible. And having a Wither, that is a huge attack speed slow. So if he can get that Wither onto the right target without dying to Killing Force first, that will be a very big swing.
Well, we'll see how it all works out, guys. We're heading into our delay and our loading screen. Casters are going to take a short break, but fret not. We will be back to cast all the action as soon as we hit the rift. Thank you guys for coming out again. We'll see you here in a few minutes.
Welcome to House Party 5v5 Saturday League, Shadow Walkers versus Trismegetsu, our final game of the night. I am your host, Just a Base, and joining with me is expert commentator, White and Nerdy.
What's up, everybody?
So, one of the things we didn't mention in Champ Select was the Nasus pick in regards to the team composition as a whole. So, literally every damage source coming out from Trismegetsu wants to be right up close to the enemy team to do their damage. Sivir is a short-range AD carry. Vlad is a short-range mage. His E does AoE damage. He's all about getting into the middle of team fights and just putting out as much damage on as many targets as he can, and sustaining through it with lifesteal and his passive. So the Sivir passive is great for that. It also helps Nasus as well. However, these comps, the ones that run you down, that typically you can see Thresh starting an Ancient Coin to build into the Talisman of Ascension. Typically these comps run Maokai as their top laner.
Yeah.
So it's especially good against a target as squishy and dangerous as a Vayne, because you can just point and click W, she can't move, gone.
Right, so if I may, I think that the instead of going with the more conventional Maokai, which is, like you said, the big usual answer to that kind of thing, I think their answer, instead of in the top lane, is actually their Wukong in the jungle. Instead of having that point and click W can't move, they're opting for the point and click ER into the back line.
Very solid. That's also... I'm really excited to see Trismegetsu team fight, just because Sivir speeding the team up into Wukong knockup, into Vlad ult. It's, oh my god, the potential for Wombo is really huge there.
I like this lane swap from the Shadow Walkers. 2v1, forcing Nasus into a 2v1 lane is exactly what they want.
Oh wow. Yeah. The worst part about this is that the bot lane from Trismegetsu didn't get the freeze. They weren't expecting the lane swap, and so they didn't pull the minions together, so the enemy minions would all attack the same minion of theirs. So Irelia, once she's done double jungling with this Vi, should be able to go bot and get a ton of XP. I mean, on the other hand, Shadow Walker's bot lane didn't freeze either, so they just have to do their best to punish Nasus, which they are. They are 60% of his health in one trade.
Doing an excellent job of it. But if they do shove this lane under tower, Nasus is not the worst at farming under tower, because he has that siphoning strike, because he has those auto attacks. It's not a terrible idea for him. You just have to be careful to not get totally poked down by Glitterland's doubled auto attacks.
There was no reason for Shadow Walkers to push the lane here. If they had been able to get a freeze, they would have absolutely removed Nasus from the game.
Yeah.
What can a level 1 Nasus do to Vayne Lulu? Literally nothing. He can't do anything. He can't break the freeze by himself. And he's not double jungling with Wukong. He would just have to sit top and wait for someone to help him.
Yeah, so Bo looked like he was going to hop in bot, but he just backed off a little bit. Toto trying to put a little bit of harass onto Amaro. He's doing a pretty good job. Amaro getting those transfusions off whenever he gets jumped by Toto, so it's working out okay.
Antonym forced to use E, and in fact, level up E above his Q.
And he might be in trouble, but now here comes the enemy. Enemy's here. He's gonna eat. This is gonna be first blood for Antonym. That's a Nasus getting first blood. They should be able to put that slowdown onto Mycroft. Antonym has to be careful. If he gets hit by another Glitterlance, he's dead. But Mycroft is the one forced to flash, and enemy is just gonna flash after him, pick up a second kill. Excellent job by Trismegetsu there. Facing that disadvantageous lane.
An extremely large misplay from Shadow Walker's bot lane. You could see Vayne had been low for a while between the poke from Nasus's rank 2 Spirit Fire and taking turret shots while attempting to harass him. And then, with a lack of vision in the river, they got bullied and double killed in a lane that they should have just been able to deny the Nasus.
And furthermore, a big part of that was that Nasus, Antonym started moving up to try to combat them, and they just kept fighting Mycroft and Killing Force. Whereas if I mean, in their position, it would be natural to think, like, to have some alarm bells going off. Why is this Nasus a level below us trying to fight us? So
they're now forced to swap back into the 2v2.
Jetstone is a level down on Antonym. A Glacial Shroud completed for Antonym versus just boots for Jetstone.
I think Jetstone should be alright. Aurelia's stun is very powerful, the true damage does a lot, and she has her own form of built-in sustain to try and mitigate the amount that Antonym has.
Absolutely. I think that the only problem with this 1v1 lane is that because Antonym is slightly ahead, he is going to be able to farm up his Q.
That was an excellent condemn from Killing Force.
Yeah, and in the mid lane, there's just action happening everywhere now. That team-up play looked like it came out on Mega Totodile, but didn't mean too much there. Across the map, despite those 2 kills, it is still Trismegetsu with about a 400 gold lead. So, in terms of farm, just taking a small lead in just about every lane.
Jet needs to be careful until he's 6, because the early percent health damage on Nasus's ult is really dangerous to an Aurelia when he has Wither on and you don't have your ult to lifesteal it back.
Yeah. Because your auto attacks are going to suddenly stop doing anything, and that's why I think Nasus in this comp works pretty well. Kind of counters the Lulu Whimsy.
Oh, that's a really good way to think about it.
I don't know if that's what he'll be using it for, but
I'm very excited to see the Vlad mid lane. I'm a big fan of Vlad.
yeah, Vlad's very good. He did get that revolver first back. That's going to help him a lot in sustaining up versus LeBlanc, at least until Toto is able to complete the Omicron.
It's been interesting seeing Vlad sort of resurface in Champions over in Korea. He was played several times last 2 nights ago, I think, and he did quite well. I can't remember the name of the player, but Vlad ended the game at like 4-0 and X, and he's just a huge force because of all of the unavoidable damage he has. He's got no skill shots unless you count his ult, and if you're in range, like as a Vayne, you basically have to get within his range in order to auto him, and he can just point and click transfuse you for like 700 damage once he gets some items.
Yeah, and I think another part where the Vlad pick really does help shine is that the fact that Wukong is a fairly, I shouldn't say very, it's a fairly blue dependent jungler, and Vladimir being a health cost champion does not need that blue, which allows enemy to take it.
I agree completely. Oh my gosh. I've got to give some serious props to Trismegetsu for their vision control in the bot lane. They are so ready for that dragon.
Yeah, they're all setting up. There is a ward for the Shadow Walkers in the back of the pit, but we'll see what it does.
Oh, it looks like Vi is coming mid to try and gank the Vlad. She does have her ult, but I'm pretty sure Vlad can pool and it'll cancel it.
I think so. Oh, the Ballbreaker comes out. He's just going to pool now, no. So even if Chabot does ult, wow, that's a tower shot plus a transfusion. And that's going to send Vi running for the hills.
I mean, got the flash, so worked.
Yeah. Ward now. Look at those minions. Follow this way. Go ahead. Flash by Toto. Amaro gets ignited. He's going to try to sustain back up. He's going to go down. Enemy will be able to finish off. The blue buff on Toto meant that he could tell who was the clone. In the bot lane, a little skirmish going on. Odin's taking a bit of harass. But it's in the mid lane. It's another 1-for-1.
That 1-for-1 was beneficial for Trismegetsu because they got the assist gold.
Yeah, and just because of that assist gold plus some big CS discrepancies, big one in the bot lane, smaller one in the top lane and in the jungle, makes it almost 1,000 gold, or almost a full 1,000 gold which is fairly decent at this stage in the game. Nothing they can get too content with, but...
Yeah, especially since I think Trismegetsu scales up just a little bit better. Mostly
Yeah,
because of the Vladimir.
And not to mention they do have Nasus that infinite scaling. Doesn't even have 100 stacks yet on his Q, so turns out the Jet is doing a very good job. And because Antonym was forced to put it 2 extra levels into his E.
Yeah, it really hurts the cooldown. He does have a Frozen Heart already, though, which makes the lane nearly unbearable for Aurelia, especially since she's nowhere near a Triforce.
Yeah, Antonym can just sit here now, freeze the lane, just like his heart. Odin's Son lanterning out, trying to just pick up a Solar Gel.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nasus wins trades right now.
Yeah, the true damage from Jetstone is still decent. Oh, yeah, Toto just comes in, he gets an auto attack off. That's not great. So, enemy did go off for the Warrior enchantment on the jungle item. Trying to do a bit more damage with that ultimate.
Yeah, as expected. It's worth noting, though, that Chibodi was able to pick up the Chilling Smite, while on the other side, enemy felt like he had to go for the sustain offered by the Range's Trailblazer. So a little less utility there, but he will be able to hard farm more effectively.
Yeah, could also be something like enemy doesn't really need to slow his enemies because he stealthed and then he can jump in and use the targeted dash. Whereas on Vi, you really do need to slow someone to hit that AoE dash. Now here, the ult comes in from Enter. He's going to knock up all 3. The Killing Force gets Lulu ulted. They're going to get a kill onto Odin's Son, Sankanyo, who's kind of in the middle of the team. They are going to get a kill. Trade one back onto Killing Force. Kill goes onto enemy. 3-0-1 on that jungle Wukong.
I'm not sure what that health crystal is going to build towards. Honestly, when you have pretty much all of the kills on your team as a Wukong, I would be hoping to see like a brutalizer. I mean, I love tanks as much as the next guy, but when you want to do damage as a Wukong, straight pen, just as much pen as you could possibly get.
Yeah, I could see that going into a Black Cleaver later on. He felt he wanted a little bit of help, having enough damage, and I don't blame him, although because the Aurelia true damage, it does get prevented fairly well by health, but.
All of the lanes are fairly even except for bot.
Yeah.
Kanyo's managed to pull about a 30 CS lead, which is pretty darn good at 13 minutes.
You know, playing Sivir, going for that IE rush versus a Bork rush vein means that in lane and in non-extended trades, Kanyo will have the slight advantage. But once you get into some more extended team fights, then the Bork, once it's completed, is going to be a big help.
Absolutely. The Bork is also going to do a ton of work against Nasus. Like, late game, Vayne should be able to beat the Nasus as long as Lulu's there with her. Because Nasus will just never be able to reach her, even with Wither. Like, between Tumble, Condemn, the Invisibility, and the Bork, there should be no way that he ever reaches Vayne, barring some incredible flight.
Yeah. So Antonym does now have his fully leveled up Siphoning Strike. So that's going to be a very short cooldown between that and the Frozen Heart, and now a Kindle Gem. That's pretty big. Nice hook on the minion. Get that right in CS range.
All planned. He's just trying to make him feel like they're safe. Next time, he's going to flash hook.
Oh, absolutely. We have seen some excellent hooks in today and in all the games. So I am excited for another good Thresh player. Trismegetsu, man.
Vladimir appears to be going for an Abyssal Scepter. It could just be Merc Treads, but I think it'd be an Abyssal Scepter, which is quite decent.
Yeah, the other option, given his build so far, is he's going straight for a Spirit Visage, just to add up that spell vamp.
Oh wow, I hadn't even considered that, but yeah, with the health crystal, that's almost certainly what it is.
He could also be going for an Abyssal, like you said, followed up by by Rylai's later on, because he does get a peak from health. So having that Ruby Crystal certainly doesn't hurt. Hemoplague comes out. Enemies jumping on. The Hemoplague pop should kill Toto.
She's gone.
And it will. And now the ult comes out on the Wukong comes out onto Chabode. That's gonna be another kill. That's a 2-0 in the mid lane. They're trying to trade it back in bot. Mycroft and Killing Force doing some good damage, but they're trying to focus down Odin's Son. That's not the best idea. And now it looks like
during the fight mid, Antonin tried to teleport down to provide additional support, but it was canceled.
yeah, that means he is going to be that's going to be on cooldown for him, whereas it's up for Jet. And Antonin cannot cancel Jet's teleport.
Nope. All he can do is try to kill her before it goes off.
And there's certainly a possibility with that percent health damage coming on Nasus as well, if he decides to ult. So overall, kind of evened out towards a 3,000 gold lead once things are all said and done for Trismegetsu.
Yeah, most of that gold, about 1,500 of it, is sitting in a difference between enemy and Chabode. And you can tell, yep, he backed and got a pickaxe. He wants to do some damage. He's ready to start killing people.
Yeah, he's probably, I would guess, a last whisper there. Not 100% sure though. So in the mid lane, Vladimir Amaro did get a Will of the Ancients into a Spectre's Cowl, probably going for the Spirit Visage for a little extra CDR, health, AP from the health, plus healing.
And the synergy from the passive.
Yeah, it's excellent.
That's so defensive. Like, he's going even or winning. Oh, so we have an all-in.
Killing Force jumping in, nice ball breaker from Chabode. They're gonna get that kill on the bot lane. They're looking for a second. Up in the top lane, Antonin's trying to do some damage to Jetstone. He is, but Jetstone can just jump around. Mega Totodile also up in the top lane. Antonin does still have ult available. I don't know if this is such a wise idea. Antonin's doing a lot of damage already to Jetstone. 2 chains from Antonin. Look at that damage on Toto. Are gonna get it, but look at the health bars of Jet and Toto.
That was just excellent map play on the part of Shadow Walkers. The jungler went bot of using the fact... Wait, they should have had vision of that, right? The pink would have seen her. That was a really poor time to choose for an all-in on the part of Trismegetsu.
Yeah, so in the... I totally agree. In the jungle, enemy, you'd be happy to know, did go for the Tiamat. Nice damage right there.
Yeah.
And that might be a big part of why Amaro is building so defensively, because he just wants to amplify the damage of the Wukong ult and from the Sivir, and then from there just kind of survive and be in the middle dealing consistent damage, letting his teammates do all the burst.
That's really solid. Yeah. Man, this is such a measured game. I mean, it's not like, oh, no one ever gets any kills ever, but we were almost 19 minutes in, and neither team has made a serious posture for the dragon.
Absolutely. I mean, Vision, I'm gonna definitely hand it to Trismegetsu here overall on that bot side near the dragon, but they haven't even, you're right, they have not even made a move for it. Even when they won that fight bot lane, got 2 kills, they didn't even give it a chance.
Yeah, I would have expected them to go for it after they got the double on the Blanc and Vi mid.
Ooh, well, I'd say they're
they took
certainly
the
going to go
towers,
for it
yeah.
now that they spot Chapode up in the top lane. Antonin, his ult comes up. What a flash! Everybody, he decides he wants to go back in. Totodile's there too. Antonin's
Why would you go
going down.
back in?
Oh, he almost got Jetstone so close. Just a little bit of damage away. But enemy is going to finish off. They go 1-for-1 so far. The Hemoplague comes out. The Wukong Cyclone. Ooh, man. 2-for-1 for Trismegetsu.
Man, it's I like this style of play where you see the enemy team making an aggressive move on your laner and you're like, well, we could go for an objective, or we could make a move that's twice as aggressive on them.
It's certainly working very well. Ow, man, those tumbles, those silver bolts proc are starting to hurt with the health tank. That could be a kill onto Odinson. The box is popped though. Odinson and Sankanyo are just going to run away.
Yeah. Sankanyo had to heal there as well to save his support.
So, in junglers, enemy has 100% kill participation so far. He's been everywhere.
Yeah. It's I've got to give a lot of credit as well to Totodile's roaming.
Yeah.
He realizes that Aurelia is really important in their composition, and that if she can't stop Nasus' oh, there we go. Well,
Nice.
that happened. I mean,
Now that is going to actually be the first dragon. This time, it's just going to be Shadow Walkers going straight for that dragon. Should not be a problem.
yep. And that wasn't even off like a gank or anything. That was literally just our bot lane outplayed your bot lane. In lane, this is our dragon.
Yeah. Ravenous Hydra also picked up by enemy. He just wants to stay alive a little bit longer.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna be doing so much damage in team fights.
Oh, so something I really like about the Wukong ultimate is it's scaling with level. It has insane scaling with level. So at level 1, it does like 10 damage plus your AD. At level 2, it does 110 damage per second. And then at level 3, it does 220 damage per second.
Like, what? Who made up those numbers? That's so huge.
And it's for 4 seconds, which means you do 880 damage, I believe. I'll double check that once he hits level 16 just to make sure that I'm not misleading you. But
yeah, and that's to every person?
yeah, which is just massive damage. If you stand in that, you're almost certainly going to die. Still focusing down Antonym here in the top lane. He's going to go down again. They really don't want this Nasus to get big at all.
The camp is real. And his team isn't even doing that much. Okay, it looks like a pop screen for bot tower, so...
Yeah, they should be able to get this thing. Kenny with a level 2 ult means that he does get 60% extra attack
oh
speed.
no, Vlad is gone.
Did get tower though. Or the tower was already gone, so never mind.
We trade a turret for a turret, but Shadow Walkers pick up 2 kills for free.
Yeah, it's only 1,000 gold lead now in favor of Trismegetsu. Enemy's gonna try to defend this tower. We'll see how much damage he can do. We haven't really seen the Wukong in action with his items yet. He's just kind of been sitting around jungle farming. I want to see what he does to champions.
Yeah, Trismegetsu has really been lax this game in exercising their power. When Wukong was that strong early on, they should have just forced a fight at Dragon. Because if the enemy team shows up, then they all had to group to fight you, and you just stack Vladimir ult, fed Wukong ult, and everyone dies, and you get a dragon. As it was, they just sort of tried to sit back and farm. Wukong wanted to get stronger, you know, Nasus has to stack up, and that just gave time for the Aurelia to try and make the lead he had matter less, to give Vayne a chance to get her items. And now they're getting punished for it.
Yeah, now at 22 minutes, 324 stacks for Antonym. It's still not bad for this time, but he could be doing better, and he is being camped pretty hard, so he's going to have to start watching out for more ganks.
He hasn't upgraded his vision totem. Shame on him, he's level 13. You're going to be split pushing a ton. Spend 250 gold and get free green wards for the rest of the game. It's so good.
Very, very true. Very true. Good point, Base. Good point, Base. Man, on the plus side for Trismegetsu, they do still have a fed Wukong, and they do still have a decently fed and very farmed Vladimir. So they still have that same pressure. If they do have a team fight, I think we can pretty much count on Trismegetsu winning any kind of clumping war.
Yeah. You can see they're setting up vision around Dragon again. They realized their mistake and are now trying to make sure that they get the next Dragon and can win the fight and continue taking objectives off of that.
But this game right now is right about even. About 500 gold separates the two teams. That's really not much, all things considered.
Yeah, that's basically 0 gold. Looks like Wukong's heading towards his blue buff again. Gosh, it's so nice not having to, like, give blue buff to your mid laner or whatever.
Yeah, maybe late game we'll start giving it to Nasus, because infinite siphoning strikes does sound fun, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I suppose. Anthony putting down the Wither on Jetstone. It's just going to be usual trade here in top lane. The usual wet noodle fight.
Oh god. 3 people top? Mercy, please.
But all they get out of that is a couple tower shots. So Antonym is just going to say, thanks, no thanks, I'm going to keep farming, and enemy's like,
yeah, this is dangerous.
pops the decoy, walks out.
We could be looking at a 2v2 bot.
Oh, we could be looking at a Oh, enemy flashes and then gets stunned perfectly by
Oh
Jetstone.
no.
Jetstone forced to flash him. Because he has the Bomby Cinder, he does aggro Baron.
That's pretty good.
That could have turned out hilariously bad.
Ah, come on. Sivir's finally mid. Let's just... Everybody go mid. If you're
Run in and
Trismegetsu.
kill them.
Just go ARAM. You have Sivir. Pop on the hunt. Run straight into their team. Knock them all up. Kill them all.
I think one thing they may be waiting for, though, is they are waiting for Antonym to really hit that critical mass. 380 stacks about right now. He probably wants to get up to 400 to 500 before he even considers leaving top lane.
Yeah, I guess. I think the Triforce is probably going to be a bigger spike for him, just because the upgraded Phage passive is so good. Like, every single piece of stick you have as Nasus is incredibly valuable.
Yeah, he's probably going to finish out that Spirit Visage first. That's only about 700 gold, and then he'll start working on that Triforce. Offense is not a priority for him, and you do have a Sivir, Vladimir, and a Wukong already in there for some damage. Shadow Walker, though, setting up the
Oh no, Sivir's...
Oh, Dragon, I meant.
Sivir's backing. Dragon's in 15 seconds. I don't think they have the timer, so... They should see Shadow Walker's posturing for this, though, and be aware. It looks like she's going to make it back because they're not rushing it.
They do have Scuttle as well.
Oh, yes, that's a very good point.
Here comes Nasus. Antonym is going to come in for the fight. We could see a really big fight coming out very soon. If you just saw, Killing Force just crit onto Nasus, and it did 96 damage.
That's worrying.
Yeah, that is very good for Trismegetsu, that Nasus doesn't really feel much pain right now.
Yeah. The Silver Bolts, however, are going to tear through him, because the ADCs are even in terms of items, and Bork PD Tier 2 boots is a lot scarier on a Vayne than it is on a Sivir.
Good thing for that Frozen Heart, at least, from the Nasus. It will slow the attack speed.
Yeah, also of Aurelia, which is huge, because it means less sustain from her, and less Triforce.
Alright, well, Trismegetsu is finally finished and figured out what they're going to do. They are sending enemy in for top city. He's going to hold only on the Toto. He's also going to get Chibo, which kind of went in there also. That's a 2-for-0 in favor of Trismegetsu. They killed the jungler. This should be their dragon just about no problem. That's the fight we were waiting for.
I'm not sure what happened with Chabode. I think it looked like he wanted to, like he went back in, but the team wasn't there, and he just sort of vault-breakered into 5 people, and an ulting Wukong, and it didn't work out.
More importantly, he vault-breakered directly into the cycle.
That feels
It's an
bad.
ongoing cycle. As you can imagine in Trinell.
Wow! That's some damage.
Forcing a wild growth just from an EQ out of Wukong.
That's some serious respect. I mean, he still has 100% kill participation, 604 Wukong. He's huge.
Yeah, and now that he does have that Hydra finished, he is ready. Sorry, no more pen, I think. He's going for the Randuin's next. Just for a little extra attack speed.
I can respect someone building tank, you know, if you're a jungler that's probably just supposed to be tanky. It's less fun, but it's better.
Yeah, I mean, there's no you know, he could very well get a Black Cleaver later in the game if he still turns out that he's doing very well. I just think
Black
he's waiting
Cleaver
for the
is
situation.
amazing. If you, like, once you go in there with Cyclone, Sivir's Ricochet and Bouncing Blades are going to just murder the enemy team. AoE crits with her having a Last Whisper, and the enemy team having their armor reduced even further. That could be really, really scary with Flat Ult, because that's flat percentage increase to all damage received.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see what Wukong decides his course of action is. He will finish that Randuin. That's very nice buy versus the Vayne plus Irelia. This is a very attack speed heavy comp from Shadow Walkers, and a Frozen Heart Randuin's is going to do a big part in shutting it down.
Nasus has crossed the 400 stack level.
Yes, he has that 429 right now. He is ready to go in. Enemies, Clone gets done, he's going to pop Cyclone. Once he gets his Chabode, he's going to go down. And now Killing Force is ready. Oh, this is auto damage. Toto goes in on Sankanyo. Antonym is in there. Nice Evil Blade. That might be enough to kill Toto. Antonym gets dunked by Chabode. Totodile doesn't die thanks to Wild Growth. Now Mero's in trouble. 4 for 0. 4 for 0 from Shadow Walkers.
I mean,
and they're just gonna rush for Baron.
Yeah, that's absolutely a Baron, and that was just what happened was enemy got caught out, and the rest of his team tried to save him by funneling one at a time into a team that excels at single target damage. I mean,
yeah.
Shadow Walkers has a Vayne who has Silver Bolts that shreds one target at a time. They have Aurelia who deals true damage to one person at a time. They have a Vi who can lock up one person at a time. It's just so much single target damage. It's almost like consistent burst, really. Whereas Trismegetsu wants the enemy team to stack so they can just knock them up, blast them down, short team fight. They don't want it to last too long, unless you're Vlad, maybe.
Yeah, and I think a big problem with that is that what Trismegetsu, what might have been a wiser idea for them, would have been to disengage as soon as enemy got killed, because you don't want to be stuck in there without your Wukong in really any kind of fight, because he is doing a lot of damage plus shred.
Yeah, he's got the most gold on the team.
Yeah, in the game. He's doing very well. He's doing his best to help out, but you know, this Nasus Wukong is turning out to do pretty well. We'll see if it holds its weight into late game. Obviously the Nasus will. We'll see how
Trismegetsu are preparing themselves for what will likely be a very painful split push. Because Nasus can only clear so quickly, especially with the increased tankiness on the melee minions from Baron buff. That is so frustrating, seeing your autos go out and you're like, no, it should deal more damage than that. I do more damage than that.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a bit of a problem. I mean, look at this, Sivir, not able to do much. She's trying so hard. Amaro taking quite a bit of burst. He has the Spear of it, but she's still taking quite a lot of damage from that Rabadon's Abyssal Morello's LeBlanc.
Yeah, he himself is just a little bit short of his own death cap.
Yeah, and he's going to get health from that, which is kind of nice for Vladimir, because you like having health, more to heal. We'll see how it turns out for him. He is about 400 gold away from his death cap.
This tower's also gone. They can't defend this.
They really can't defend it. They're going to try, though.
Oh, on the hunt, it pops.
And they actually are going to do very well. Look at how fast Odin's Son runs with the Talisman and on the hunt, plus his Moby boots. He is zooming around there like a good Warden of the Souls. Enemies can take down a couple pink wards. He's just trying to take down as many pinks as he can so they can't spot him when he stealths in.
Yeah, Totodile's posturing over the wall. I don't believe they have vision of him. I can't imagine Trismegetsu pushing that far out again, considering they just lost all of their speed actives.
Yeah, Gromp is going to be taken by Killing Force, or by Chabode. Get that extra 30 gold. Why waste? And it is... We haven't noticed this in a little bit. It's back in favor of the Shadow Walkers. 1.5 thousand gold, which at this stage of the game is pretty close to even, but slight advantage nonetheless.
Yeah, Dragon spawning right about now. So with Aurelia mid, they might actually, or Trismegetsu could potentially look to force a 4v5.
Well, Jet does have teleport. There's not too much that can interrupt it, and he can also just block.
Yeah. The danger is him being caught alone.
Ouch. That damage coming out of just Toto hurts even Antonym, and they're going to have to back off. Concede the second Dragon to Shadow Walkers. Dragon number 2 is not too huge, just a little extra damage into towers. Might help out with their push, but Baron buff is more.
Yeah, I mean, the Dragon buffs are definitely useful, but considering we only have 2 stacks on Shadow Walkers and 1 on Trismegetsu, and we're 34 minutes into the game, I don't think this is going to be a game decided by the 5th Dragon stack.
Very, very doubtful. They are not, like we were talking about earlier, they didn't even make a move toward the Dragon until like 17, 18 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, pause comes out. I wonder what the problem is.
Just looks like someone's lagging. It happens. Phage completed, by the way, for Antonym. Like you said, moving towards that Triforce is going to be a very nice power spike for him.
Also relevant, is Killing Force has picked up a Quicksilver Sash, which is pretty much the best item he can buy against this team, because he absolutely cannot afford to get withered in the middle of a team fight. If he gets withered, then it just means that the rest of Trismegetsu, with On the Hunt, can just collapse directly onto him and reduce him to dust.
Alright. Well, looks
We
like...
also see another Vamp Scepter coming out of Killing Force, so I guess he is looking towards a Bloodthirster
Instead
to
of
get
a
some
more...
utility from the Overshield.
Yeah, although if he doesn't get an Infinity Edge, the Phantom Dancer, I don't want to say it's a wasted item, but it kind of is. You're not getting the increased crit damage. And it's only 35% crit chance.
I mean, Vayne plays differently from a lot of the standard auto-focused AD carries just because of how powerful Silver Bolts is. So
Very true.
he's less dependent on the traditional AD carry items. Like, as long as she has attack speed and gets enough attacks down, then her Silver Bolts guarantee that she does damage. So as long as she can stay alive, she should be doing comparable damage to Silver.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like there is no Black Cleaver coming out of enemy just yet. Looks like he's going for maybe a Banshee's Veil next item.
Yeah. That's also
Yeah,
smart.
Yeah,
Have a
picks
lot
up
of
the Spectre's
burst
Cowl.
from Totodile to worry about. Baron up in 2 minutes. And I gotta say, Trismegetsu did a really good job of waiting that Baron buff out. They only lost a turret and a dragon. And
Yeah, and it was only the second dragon, like we mentioned, so it's not a huge deal. Here, Antonin looks like he's trying to bait Jet a little bit. I'm not sure what Odinson is doing. He's a little far back, considering Antonin is pushing the wave pretty hard.
my gosh. I just want to see Antonin sit in a side lane by himself.
Ow! Oh
And
man,
press
that's
the
some good
split
damage onto Micron. He's gonna flash out
no.
right into the armor of Antonin
Ew.
and St. Canyo. Amaro is still gonna get chained, but here comes the enemy flashing onto the enemy team. Toto almost down. Amaro running right in. He's gonna try to transfuse. He's not gonna be able to get it. They are gonna get Toto thanks to enemy. St. Canyo taking a lot of damage. He's gonna take too many tower shots. Chabot is still in the middle. Killing Force is out. Enemies are trying to run. Odin's Son is just trying to run. Ooh,
Can't run
nice
from Vayne.
ball breaker coming out of Chabot. Enemy one more auto. Killing Force on a rampage.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, is Odin's Son gonna get out of this? Oh,
Odin's
the
Son's
teleport
gonna
from
get out of
Jetstone is gonna secure a tower in the top lane. Probably even 2 with these death timers.
So overall, it was a 2 for 3. Not horridly bad for Trismegetsu, but not
That
as
was
good as
pretty
they
bad
would've
for
liked.
Trismegetsu.
The only problem was that I think they underestimated, as weird as it sounds, they did underestimate the damage coming out of the Shadow Walkers, because they dove them under tower. And that just was not a wise move, considering the Vi had all that lockup, the Irelia still has the Equilibrium Strike.
Yeah, it seems like they overestimated the amount of lockdown that they had. Like,
Yeah.
when enemy flashed forward to hit the knockup onto Totodile and Killing Force, the only reason you would do that is if you can guaranteed immediately kill them. Because if you can't, then you're far in front of your team up against a Vayne and a LeBlanc, and you're probably not going to live for very much longer. And since they were unable to kill Killing Force, he forced Vladimir back because the turret was too much when combined with Silver Bolts. Oh, well, we've got a face check.
Yeah, I mean, Amaro face tracking isn't such a bad thing. He's just going to pop the Hemoplague, walk right out, heal up a little bit. In the bot lane, Antonym is just going to continue pushing unchecked. Shadow Walkers have to force this Baron, or at least force the fight, because otherwise Antonym will continue pushing until he takes the base.
Yeah, they can just start it.
And Big will start it. TP will come out pretty soon from Antonym, or else that Baron is dropping fast.
They're not
They're
fighting
not
this.
testing it.
I
That's going to be the Baron.
disagree with that choice. I mean, as Trismegetsu, they're not that far behind. Like, they can definitely still fight, and their comp is designed to excel in AoE team fights with enemies clumped. Where else are they more clumped than at Baron?
Oh man, but they're trying to get Antonym. Look at that damage. He picked up almost half of. Wow, that was like 3/4 of Mycroft's health right there. 3 members on him though. Once again,
can't escape this.
Antonym is a bit overestimating his own strength, but it does mean that between the Sankanyo's attack speed, enemies the armor shred, they are going to be able to get this tower here. But now Jetstone, Chabot holds onto Sankanyo. Sankanyo's going to flash out. He's just going to boomerang blade back. Mega Totodile and Jetstone. Jumping right in on the Marrow. He's trying to get the cooldown. He's trying to heal up, but I think he will drop. Enemy just going to run and run and run. 3 in a row.
That was just a lack of consistent shot calling, I guess. I mean, it seemed like they should have been able to turn and fight just 2. I mean, Trismegetsu definitely had to respect the flank, but Sankanyo just split. He was just absolutely gone. And so when Omero and Enemy tried to fight, they were caught in a 2v2 that was in a 2v4 that was in a 2v5.
Yeah. I mean, I think it really all goes back to, like we were talking about, is that they really should have pressed that fight at Baron. They're not so far behind that they can't win a really clumped up fight. Especially because Wukong has hit that level 16 power spike, which means his ultimate, including AD, does nearly 500 damage per second.
What?
200 base plus
That's
282.
correct. Oh my god. Dragon number 3, no contest, no vision, people were dead.
And movement speed is a huge thing. Movement speed is a pretty big stat, especially right now when you have the LeBlanc who likes catching people out. Plus the percentage-wise stacks very well with Whimsy from Lulu.
Oh wow, look at that. Jetstone just bought a cutlass and a dagger. He's going full solo queue.
Well, I mean, at this stage in the game, he's
like
okay with it. Doesn't have much magic resist, but he doesn't really need it, because I think one mistake that Trismegetsu may have made is Vladimir on Omero may have built a little bit too defensive with his Fear Visage, because he is the only source of magic. And oh, look at this! It's another 2-man gang up in the top lane. Back to lane.
Can they do anything mid? Sivared's on the hunt. You should pop that ult right now and just run into Chabot. You know there are
the only problem is Chabot is pretty tanky right now. Has a Banshee's Veil, 2 armor items, and is going for the Triforce just to do a little more damage.
It was a 3v4. They totally could have totally could have took him.
Quite possibly. My only other concern is that Shadow Walkers weren't quite as clumped as Trismegetsu would like, but
yeah.
Regardless.
Jetstone's teleport is just up right now, so he could show up now.
He's just sitting right in the mid with him. Enemy. He's gonna try. He's gonna decoy. Make him blow a little stuff. Oh, the hook was just missing. They tried the hook smite there. Didn't quite work out.
Shadow Walkers just need to sit here and clear the waves because mid isn't quite close enough to actually threaten towers. The need to clear mid isn't totally imminent, so they just need to buy time for their super minions to do their jobs and push in. They're backing off.
Now, Antonym is back up, so the Shadow Walkers do have to back off a little. You still cannot underestimate the Nasus. He is still going to hurt. He does have 570 stacks, but he's just not hurting as much as they'd like him to.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with Nasus. Is, I mean, it's very easy to look at infinite scaling and say, wow, he's a monster late game, but it's infinite scaling at melee range on a champion with no gap closers. Right. Which means that he's very dependent on either having Ghost or Flash, or getting an amazing teleport flank. And if he can't do any of that, then all of the peel and CC from Lulu, Aurelia, even the Condemned from Vayne.
Ouch, that damage was on Omero. That's a lot. Enemy's not actually going to win. He really doesn't want to. Omero's going to flash the Vault Raider. Chabot's going to take the tower. They might be able to take the inhib as well.
Killing Force is possible. Final hour's on.
He doesn't want to pop Cyclone just yet. The On the Hunt does come out. He's standing next to Chabot. Now he's going to hold for the knockup. That's really good. Odin's set goes down. What else are they going to get, though? They can't even get Chabot. Antonym is on top of Killing Force. He gets stunned. Nice condemn. They are going to get Killing Force. Nice job there by Antonym. That is a 2 for 2 so far. Pretty good, all things considered, for Trismegetsu. And Totodile and Jetstone are just on the run.
On the part of Odin's son. He coordinated his Talisman and his Righteous Glory with Sivers on the hunt, and then managed to just run directly into Vayne's face and hook Killing Force.
Yeah.
It forced Killing Force's flash, which meant that when Nasus flashed the wall onto Vayne, she had nothing left.
Yeah, all she had was Condemned, and that wasn't enough against the Nasus, who had already withered her.
Yeah, he got 2 Qs, and Killing Force is dead, and suddenly that's almost all of their sustained damage.
Yeah, although I do agree that Nasus's earlier point, one of my friends likes to say that even though you have that infinite scaling, Nasus really has a huge mid-game power spike once you hit that 3, 4, 500 stacks, because that's when you're really strongest. At this point in the game, you'll never get to Vayne unless something like that last fight happens. And you're going to die to someone like Irelia.
Red team's inhibitors respawning soon.
The inhibitor should be up in about 10 seconds. Baron's up in 45, and Dragons in a minute and a half. That was a very good... That was Trismegetsu playing out their comp correctly and showing what they're possible of, even when they're behind like 4,000 or 5,000 gold at the time. This is definitely still a game. They don't need to just roll over and die.
They just have to do their best to try to have that fight again now that there's an objective up. And if that chance to contest Baron comes up again, they had better take it. Enemies in the middle of the fight, he's going to Cyclone onto 2 of them. That's a lot of damage. Hemon Blake also gets both Mycroft and Jetstone. Now they're going to try to engage onto Jabode.
Killing Force
There's no Vayne in this fight just yet. They're doing a lot of damage to Jabode. Now Killing Force is out, but he's going to get withered. He has no QSS yet. He just used it, but he used it before he gets hooked. Odin's Son gets the hook. Now Toto is in the middle of the fight. That's not a good place for Toto to be. They're going to get him too. Now Antonym is still alive. He's in the front line doing damage. He's gonna wither on Mycroft, walk right out. Purifier gets a kill.
+6.
What a fight.
What changed? Trismegetsu is looking like a completely different team in the past 5 minutes.
I know, it's just incredible. Maybe a little shot calling change or something.
They can end the game.
They're the only problem is Jetstone. They don't really want to walk into Irelia
He's
fire
actually
right
pretty
now.
dangerous.
They're rethinking that. They might just go get Baron though.
Yeah, that seems fine. With 3 members dead for 30 seconds, it would be suicide for Jetstone and Jabode to try and contest this Baron against this much damage.
So what I actually think happened there that caused Trismegetsu to be able to win that fight was that Vayne, Killing Floor, dove in. Oh, Jetstone teleporting top. Antonym and Jetstone are going to have a little fight here. I think Antonym looks like he has a sustained damage right now.
Percent HP.
His Cypher is
percent
plus
HP.
He's going to get him. Good job by Antonym. And he's going to get the Baron.
What a turnaround.
What a turnaround. It's
They do
dead
trade it for
even
Dragon.
in gold. The Dragon will go down. 4th Dragon, no big deal. Damage to minions and monsters. Not too big.
It's scary, though. You can't afford to give him another Dragon.
Very true. We have seen games, in-house games, in the last week where 5 dragons, where teams of 5 dragons to 0 have lost. So,
That hurts.
yeah. So I think part of the reason why these fights have gone so well is because in the last big extended fight, when Killing Floor QSS the Wither, and he QSS the Wither the instant before Odin's Son hooked. So he QSS the Wither right just to get hooked by Thresh.
That's, like I said earlier, Killing Force is so much of Shadow Walker's sustained damage that at the beginning of that fight, he was zoned because Wukong was cycloning directly towards him. He had to back off. He couldn't put any damage while the rest of the team just absolutely tore into Jabode. And then when he did come around, he was greeted by the entire force.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Killing Floor, while it may appear also that Toto has a lot of damage right now for sustained damage, 4 out of 5 members have at least one completed magic resist item for team Trismegetsu. The only one who doesn't is their support, Odin's. The rest of them all either have a Banshee's Veil, a Spirit Visage, or both.
Jeez. Or both. Wow.
Yeah.
What is that? What is Totodile even going to do to that Nasus besides die?
And that's really what's happening. Antonym is showing off his strength, even though, like we said, the late game is really not the best place for the Nasus. Antonym has been able to just be so tanky that it just doesn't die, and if you don't die, then you're going to be able to.
Not to mention, Vlad has nearly reached 6 items, and he provides a lot of damage.
Ooh, Anson's a little in too deep. He's gonna be forced to ult. Look at how low he is. The hook comes onto Jetstone. It's not gonna do much against a full tenacity Aurelia.
They were just a little too hyphy there. If you look mid, you can see the minions are just crashing into the towers.
Just too early. They made their move. Yeah, instance too early.
Yeah. Antonym felt the need to get the gates right then and there, and it cost them. If they had been able to just wait or hold out a little bit longer, they could have forced a 4v5, and with the amount of turret damage they have from Antonym and San Canyo, and even enemies auto reset, they should have been able to burst it pretty fast.
Yeah, not to mention enemies auto reset, I believe, does still break the armor of the tower. I'm not 100% sure, but it's pretty good. Enemies ult check, damage check, by the way, 539 per second.
Oh no, Jetstone, no.
Jet is in trouble. Tenacity won't help you when the only CC coming out right now is death. And knockup, but mostly death.
Ooh.
Oh, nice blade surge there. He might get out. He's going to get out. Now Omero, they're going to start switching focus onto Mycroft. They blew a lot there onto Jetstone. They blew a Wukong ult, which is quite a bit of CC there from the Cyclone. On the Hunt just comes back up now, so they will have some good disengage or re-engage if they want it from Trismegetsu.
Yeah, Thresh doesn't have either of his speed-ups, though. And this turret's free. They can't fight it. They don't have a Blanc.
Ooh, Antonym, just the 1 Q, just at least a quarter.
+3. Let's see, what's he up to now? We're 50 minutes into the game. Nasus has 663 stacks. Oh, when's the next one?
Yeah, right there.
666. All right. No.
Oh,
magical move.
He's up. All right, well, we saw it.
We saw it. You saw it. It was a good time.
This game is so even right now. Baron buff is now worn off of Trismegetsu.
And the inhib's back up.
Geez, deja vu will be in the other direction. Cyclone is almost back up. Trismegetsu is just waiting those 5-10 more seconds for the Cyclone to come back up. And then I bet they're going to go in and engage, because right now, Shadow Walkers are pretty darn clumped.
Yeah, I mean, we're so late into the game, and there's so much damage on both sides, that a single convincingly won team fight is the game. Absolutely. You can just tank the turrets. They don't mean anything.
And plus, they're at 70-second death time at this point, with almost everybody at max level, other than the supports.
Where is Jetstone going? Well, I wonder why he took that path. It might cost him.
I mean, I'm sure he wanted to do that. I mean, he's base gates, thankfully, for this last thing, would not have got there. What, between Anson, Enemy, and Canyon.
That's him down. You just back out. You just Trismegetsu walk away. You got the objective.
Not
mission
to mention,
accomplished.
In the top lane, it is shoving for Trismegetsu. Antonym's still a little bit far up. He's running a little low on mana. He has enough for ult and a few siphoning strikes. Not too much beyond that. He has about 400 mana.
Shadow Walkers are being over-aggressive with the size of that top wave. They
might lose an inhib tower here. At least the wave's not quite up to their tower, but it is now. They just now pinging it for assistance.
Oh, this is actually a fairly clever play on their part. They're using the wave bot that San Canyo is forced to clear to trade mid inhibs back. And they're gonna rotate top.
Now they should be able to get top in, but they have to be careful, because
there we go.
Speed means that they're going to be able to do something. Flashes come out, Killing Force in the back, but the enemy jumps on him. They're gonna get Jetstone right away. Now enemy is in the middle of him. Keep Plate comes out, gets at least 3 members. Odin's is in the back now. Chabot goes down, cancels the assault and battery.
That's a 2 for none.
That's a 2 for none. That's going to be at least an inhib. Like you said, at this stage of the game, that's a fairly decisive team fight. The only problem is Killing Force is alive.
They should start looking. They don't know that Dragon is up, but they should absolutely check it. If they can get any additional dragons, or just remove the objective from the map, it's such a huge threat off the table.
It does look like
under 20 seconds, so just
does look like that's where enemy's going. Amero's trying to go down. They have their suspicions.
All right.
I think they figured that Chabot took it about the same time that they took Baron, which is completely true. Okay, they did spot that before. I was a little bit.
Now they should run up and go do Baron right now.
Ooh,
Thresh
enemy
has
did
some speed
smite.
actives. Just go.
Enemy did smite that, but at least he did have
A second
he
charge,
does have
yeah.
a second charge up, so.
Oh, wow. Teleport on Jet is up.
Still 20 seconds on Chabot, though. They do probably have time.
They're gonna do this really fast.
Wukong. Sivir attack speed bonus. Look at how fast they're melting this thing. Yes, killing force and Mycroft of course. Yes, you have the Irelia teleport, but Irelia can only teleport to that ward right there, down well below the Baron.
That is an
not
awful
even
place to
so.
teleport. Alright.
And now Trismegetsu is just going to back, finish off their builds. Maybe, maybe not. For some of them, they're not able to. Sankanyo does not have that Bloodthirster. Oh, did just complete the Bloodthirster. He is now full build.
Yeah, same with Vladimir.
Yep. Guardian Angel picked up for enemy.
That's pretty smart.
That's very smart. Being a Wukong, you just want to stand there, put as much sustained damage out. Try not to die. He also got the Elixir of Iron, or as I like to call it, the Elixir of Big. Because that's what it does.
It's definitely the most fun of all the elixirs.
Right, like I could get lots of AD. I could get some damage to damage to towers. I could make this trail, or I could just be gigantic.
I will choose to be a giant Maokai every single time.
Yeah, and then you just stand in the jungle and you like kind of bait him in.
Oh wow, Totodile can't show. Okay, they now know that they have a 4v5 and should just relentlessly assault this turret.
But Totodile is backing now. He did shove that wave up. But actually, the thing about Trismegetsu is, I don't think they have to be worried if that inner tower works. I mean, it's an inner tower. At this stage in the game, every other inner tower is taken. It doesn't mean all that much.
Alright. Oh, Antonym also picked up a GA. That's also very
much
good.
Bigger than enemy GA. Well, yeah, Irelia Blade popping all the banners. But they get a hook on the Mycroft. That should be a death right there. Actually not going to be. The Hemoblade comes out, only gets Jet. Chabot is in the back line. Hemoblade's on him too. He's going to die. That's another kill onto Mycroft. The killing force is still alive, but the hook hits on a killing force.
Wow.
That's going to be a kill for Odin's Son. They're going to get killing force. That should be the game. That is a 4 for none at the steps of the Nexus. Team Trismegetsu is going to take down Shadow Walkers in our last game of the night.
Wow. That was an amazing hook from Odin's Son, and I almost expected Killing Force to go off, just because both Jetstone and Chabot dove the backline so heavily, but he was